Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video, I'll be talking about how Jaden Daniels is the worst kept secret in all of NFL training camp right now, according to some NFL analysts. More than just one. We'll also be recapping today's practice. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well, so you never miss a video, and comment down below what's impressed you most about Jaden Daniels, especially if you've been at training camp so far, and check out BetUS as always. So let's get into it. And this is just a talking point for how Jaden Daniels has been, but we're going to get into practice from today just so you guys can still get updated on that. But Jaden Daniels, hey, he had another very good day today at practice. And Kay Adams, who goes around, she's trying to go around, almost all of the different training camps. And she was in Ashburn last week. Can't remember what day, probably around, I think it was Friday. She said Jaden Daniels was really good, and after talking to a lot of the players, she thinks that he is, being slept on around the league on how good he's going to be this year and how good the Commanders are going to be. Maybe not this year, but just down the line. And I thought this video is really good. Just a cut up of kind of a bunch of players on the Commanders, their thoughts on him. Jahan Dotson, Daron Payne, Bobby Wagner. So I really like that. This is just a separate thing. Maybe we'll make a video talking about this. But Ben Kurt said the Commanders are my Texans of last year. If you don't know, he used to play in the NFL. He analyzes film. Former quarterback at UVA. Go Hokies, by the way. Hopefully they have a great season this year. I'm really hoping for that. But yeah. Jaden Daniels has had a good camp, and I don't think a lot of people around the league are talking about it because it is just training camp. You got to see what happens during the preseason and then obviously the regular season. But I think what's the most important is how he look. I mean, besides the regular season, is how he looks in these joint practices. Might make a preview of a video about that. But joint practices coming up this week, or start this week, and they're going against the Jets, and they're going to have the preseason game. So that's a huge test for Jaden Daniels. He goes up against an elite defense and gets some, practice reps against them, a different defense than he's been playing against. And he's also going to be playing against them that weekend as well. So that's huge. That is huge. A lot of development that can happen there. But let's get into this practice. So shout out to Mason, said that Jaden Daniels had a keeper and took it 75 yards to the house in a true clock drill. Obviously, don't know if that would really happen in a normal game when the defenders can hit him, but still, you love to see it. Let's see. This is a final style. I might make a full video on this too because Mason has some other stuff as well, but from other practices, keeping track of this. But 12 for 16 of those 4 incompletions, 1 drop, 2 would be sacks, 1 bad pass. He also had a long rushing touchdown as well. A really good day for Jaden Daniels, and the touchdowns, it's hard because they usually stay in the same spot every time. They're like at the 35, whatever. So they're usually just getting 15, 20, 30-yard plays. Maybe every once in a while they'll throw a deep one, but even a 40-yard pass might still not score a touchdown. Some news on some players that they sign and release. They signed defensive tackle Taylor Stallworth. They worked him out last week or the week before. Released cornerback Christian Holmes. Really like Christian Holmes. Really good guy. Met him at camp last year. Was super nice. Said he would come on the show. Didn't, but hey, don't blame him for that. But he's a really good guy. And I thought he was pretty good for the Commanders in terms of a special teams guy. Very good gunner. And think there's maybe some other guys they could have released over him. But hey, I'm not the one there every day. And I'm sure they know a lot more than me, so that's fine. Derek Forrest had a hamstring injury, still dealing with that. He's at practice with the helmet, but not pads. Jaden Daniels will be playing in the preseason game, so not a surprise. Zacchaeus, Dotson, Casimir Allen, Forbes, and Sainristil were the punt returners. And then some notes from practice. Davion Davis had a really good catch. Forbes had a nice PBU going up against De'Ami Brown. Zacchaeus had another over-the-shoulder end zone catch. That's kind of it from Zach Selby on practice. Jaden Daniels had a really nice, or I guess a perfect deep shot from the pocket to Jahan Dotson, who found space around the 5. Even on quieter days, the QB makes a play in practice that shows why I guess the hype is immense. And hey, yeah, and like the comment said, I mean, music to my ears, yeah. And this comment too. Let's wait to hype it after we see it done in games. And yeah, you can say that same thing there. That's fine. Like I agree with both of those comments. It's good to hear that he's doing well, but at the same time, you want to see him do it in a game. But we really haven't heard of like, man, Jaden Daniels and the offense really struggled today. Maybe a couple of days we heard the offense wasn't doing good, Mariota not doing good, but we haven't had a day where it's like Jaden Daniels has had a really bad day. Knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't happen, but it probably will. That's just how it goes. But in the past, with Wentz, we heard many days where it was not good. With Fitzpatrick, even though he didn't play, he only played, 13 snaps, still heard a few days where it was really bad. And even Sam Howell, we heard some days where it just wasn't great. It was up and down. For the most part, with Jayden, we've had, I think we're day 10 by now. I lost count. But let's say it's been 10 days, right? And I haven't been there in practice. I have just once, but I haven't been there every day. But from what the reports have been saying, right? I would probably say out of those, let's go 12, 4 of them have been very good days. Like he was amazing. And that's a third of the days. Yeah, 4 out of the 12. And then maybe another 4 he was good. Maybe another 3 he was good. So that's 7. And then 3 he was all right, and a couple where he's and that's pretty good. That's much better than what we've had in the past, and really haven't heard any bad days. There was a couple days where he's nothing crazy. Like the day I went there, he wasn't bad. It was a really light day, so you really didn't get to see much from him. And he was okay. He was fine. It wasn't anything crazy. They didn't throw many deep shots, but seems like some of the other practices they've done a little bit more. And Jahan Dotson's starting to hear his name a little bit more, which is good. Here's the information. I mean, not really much information on Taylor Stallworth, but 7th-year D tackle, worked with him last week and has plenty of experience playing multiple positions in a scheme. Forbes, few good reps, strong PBU and fade to De'Ami Brown. Speaking of De'Ami Brown, I think Lionel Willingham, sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name, but he's been there every practice. Great play-by-play, great takeaways from him. But he mentioned that De'Ami Brown has entrenched himself as a number 3 receiver pretty obviously. And I don't know if that says something about him or if it says something about our receiving core, because our receiving core, I'm not really impressed with it. Besides Terry and maybe Jahan, Luke is still going to take a little bit of time. I think at this point, we kind of realized, Luke's probably not going to have a huge rookie year, and that's to be expected. I mean, first of all, last pick in the 3rd round, and also played receiver for 2 years in college. So it's going to take some time, but we'll see what happens with the receiver position. Brian Robinson had a nice catch out of the backfield and explosive downfield. He's having a great camp. Thought, when I was there, he had a decent had a decent practice. Armani Rogers had a nice catch. I think he's had a solid camp so far. Had a day, a few days ago where I heard he had a few nice catches. Huge pause on JP's tweet right there, but hey, we'll take a good run by Jaden Daniels, and that was kind of the main stuff. Jaden Daniels did talk with the media after practice. Nothing crazy. They didn't say he was a starter. Some of the media asked him about that, but really nothing crazy. Offensive lineman, hey, Sam Cosmi wasn't there, and he's not there. Nothing serious. Some people are like, oh, maybe he's getting a contract extension. I wish, but I don't know. Andrew Wiley remains out. That's starting to become an issue right there, and I think an offensive lineman signing should happen or will happen relatively soon. Alex Akambalu needed help leaving the field after going down in team drills, and Mason Brooks was playing right tackle over Braden Daniels. So that is interesting right there. I think we need to sign an offensive lineman. Braden Daniels not looking good. If undrafted free agent guard last year is playing over you right now, that's not good for his chances of making the team. I don't think he's making the team. I think it's pretty safe to say that right now, unless he really starts to ball out or they really like his potential. But it's nothing. He's a 4th round pick from the previous regime last year. come on now. Like, they're not tied to him at all. But that's it for today's video. Just a good update on Jaden Daniels, and people around the NFL are starting to take notice, and that's great to see. I mean, honestly, I don't care about their approval, but sometimes it is good to have some positive in your life instead of the constant negative that it is with the Washington Commanders, at least in the past. But yeah, that's it for today's video. If you guys stayed till the end, go ahead and comment down below. Let's do a former quarterback. Let's go Kyle Allen, former Redskins, and I guess Washington football. No, wait. Was he? I guess he never played for the Redskins, but Washington football team quarterback. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and comment down Kyle Allen below. Peace.